Welcome to Radiant Wisdom.
Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions? Wake up, check your phone, rush through breakfast, sit in traffic, answer emails, work, scroll, sleep, and then do it all over again. Somewhere along the way, life starts to feel like a blur. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and before you know it, another year has passed. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly felt alive? Not just busy, not just productive, but fully present, completely engaged in the moment without distractions, without stress pulling you in 1,000 directions. What if I told you that the key to breaking free from this autopilot mode isn't something outside of you? It's not a new job, a vacation, or even more time in the day. The key is already within you. It's called mindfulness, and it's not just a practice, it's a way of living. A way of experiencing each moment deeply, without rushing to the next. Imagine waking up and feeling at peace before the chaos of the day begins. Imagine drinking your morning coffee and actually tasting it, instead of gulping it down while answering emails. Imagine being able to handle stress, not by escaping it, but by facing it with clarity and calm. That's the power of mindfulness. And today we're going to explore how you can weave mindfulness into your daily life. Not as something extra to do, but as a way to transform the way you already live. Before we begin, take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. And if you find this message meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Let's explore this journey together. Now let's begin. The power of a single breath. Life moves fast. Deadlines, notifications, conversations, plans. It's easy to feel like we're constantly being pulled in 100 different directions, barely keeping up. But what if I told you that in the middle of all this chaos, there's a simple way to find peace? A way to quiet the noise, slow down time, and reconnect with yourself? It starts with a single breath. Think about the last time you felt stressed, really stressed. Maybe it was an argument. Maybe it was bad news. Maybe it was just the overwhelming weight of everything piling up at once. What did your body do? Your heart raced, your chest tightened, your thoughts spiraled, jumping from one worry to the next. Now, imagine if, in that exact moment, you paused and took a deep, intentional breath. Inhale, slowly, deeply. Hold it for just a second, and then exhale, releasing the tension, the stress, the chaos. This is the power of a single breath. Most of the time, we breathe without thinking. It happens automatically, just like our thoughts, our reactions, our habits. But the moment we consciously take a breath, something shifts. The mind slows down, the body relaxes, we regain control. Ancient Buddhist teachings tell us that peace is present in every breath. Science backs this up. Studies show that deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing stress, lowering blood pressure, and calming the mind. And the best part? You can do this anytime, anywhere. Stuck in traffic? Breathe. Overwhelmed at work? Breathe. Feeling frustrated? Breathe. Caught in an argument? Pause and breathe before you speak. Each breath is an anchor, bringing you back to the present, back to yourself. So right now, let's try it together. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, take a deep breath in, hold, and exhale slowly. Feel the difference? That's mindfulness in its simplest form. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Until one day, when life gets overwhelming, your first instinct won't be to react, but to breathe. Because sometimes the greatest power isn't in doing more. It's in pausing, in being still, in embracing the space between one breath and the next. Turning the mundane into meditation. For most of us, meditation feels like something separate from daily life. We imagine sitting cross-legged, eyes closed, in perfect silence, completely disconnected from the outside world. But what if I told you that meditation isn't just something you do for 10 minutes in the morning? What if you could turn ordinary moments into extraordinary ones, simply by bringing mindfulness into them? Everyday tasks, brushing your teeth, washing the dishes, walking down the street. These are often moments we rush through, barely noticing. Our minds are always ahead of us, planning the next thing, worrying about unfinished tasks, lost in thought. But what if, instead of treating these moments as something to get through, we saw them as an opportunity? A chance to slow down, to reconnect, to be fully present? This is what Thich Nhat Hanh calls meditation in action. Imagine washing the dishes. Instead of thinking about emails or tomorrow's to-do list, you feel the warm water on your hands. You notice the smoothness of the plates, the sound of the water running, the gentle rhythm of your movements. Or picture yourself walking, not rushing to your destination, but feeling each step. The way your foot touches the ground, the subtle shift in your balance, the breeze against your skin. This is walking meditation, and it's something you can practice anywhere, whether you're in a quiet park or walking to your car in a busy parking lot. Even drinking tea can become a form of meditation. Instead of absent-mindedly sipping while scrolling through your phone, pause. Look at the cup in your hands, feel its warmth, inhale the aroma, and when you take a sip, really taste it. Because the truth is, these little moments, they are your life. Mindfulness is not about escaping to a mountain or retreating into silence. It's about bringing presence into everything you do, turning the mundane into something sacred. So here's a simple practice for today. Choose one ordinary activity, brushing your teeth, making coffee, folding laundry, and do it mindfully. No distractions, no rushing, just being fully there. And notice what happens. Because when we stop treating life like something to get through, we finally start to live it. The bell of mindfulness, finding your anchor. Have you ever been so lost in thought that you completely forgot what you were doing? You get in your car, drive to work, and suddenly realize you don't remember a single part of the trip. Or you're eating a meal, but your mind is somewhere else, thinking about work, your phone, or that thing you said last week. We live much of our lives this way, physically present, but mentally elsewhere. But what if, in the middle of the chaos, something reminded you to come back? Something to gently pull you out of autopilot and bring you back to the present moment? In Buddhist monasteries, there is such a reminder, the sound of a bell. When the bell rings, monks and practitioners don't ignore it. They don't rush to finish what they're doing. Instead, they stop. They breathe. They return to themselves. They use the bell as an anchor, a signal to pause, let go of distractions, and fully embrace the present moment. But you don't have to live in a monastery to have your own bell of mindfulness. It could be anything in your daily life. The sound of your phone ringing, an invitation to take a deep breath before answering. A red light at an intersection, not an inconvenience, but a moment to pause and be still. The chirping of birds in the morning, a reminder that a new day has begun, fresh and full of possibility. Even something as simple as the feeling of your feet touching the ground as you walk. This, too, can be your anchor. Mindfulness isn't about forcing yourself to be present all the time. It's about creating gentle reminders, small moments throughout the day that call you back to now. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Soon, instead of rushing through life, you'll begin to notice things you once overlooked. the warmth of the sun on your skin, the rhythm of your breath, the way a loved one's voice sounds when they laugh. Because life isn't just happening somewhere else later. It's happening here, right now. So what will your bell of mindfulness be today? Find something, a sound, a sensation, a moment, that reminds you to stop, breathe, and return to yourself. And when you hear it, don't rush past it. Pause, breathe, be. Mindful eating, savoring life one bite at a time. When was the last time you truly tasted your food? Not just eating because you're hungry, not just grabbing a bite while scrolling through your phone or rushing to your next task, but really tasting the flavors, the textures, the warmth or coolness of each bite. For most of us, eating has become just another task to check off the list. Something we do while working, watching TV, or thinking about everything except the food in front of us. But what if we approached eating differently? What if, instead of treating it as a routine, we turned it into a moment of deep presence, an act of mindfulness? Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "When we eat a tangerine, we can eat it in such a way that life is real in that moment." What does that mean? Imagine holding a single grape in your hand. Before you even take a bite, pause, look at it. Notice its color, its shape, the way light reflects off its surface. Then slowly bring it to your lips. Feel its smoothness against your tongue before you gently bite down. Notice the burst of juice, the sweetness, the subtle tartness. For that one moment, there is nothing else, just this bite, this flavor, this experience. This is mindful eating, and it can transform not just how you eat, but your entire relationship with food. Think about the way we usually eat. We eat too fast, barely chewing before taking the next bite. We eat while distracted, consuming food without truly experiencing it. We eat based on impulse, grabbing whatever's quick, whatever's available, without thinking about what our body truly needs. But when we bring mindfulness to eating, something shifts. We slow down, we listen to our bodies. We savor our food instead of just consuming it. And something beautiful happens. We start feeling satisfied with less. Because eating mindfully isn't just about food. It's about gratitude, appreciation, being fully present with the nourishment we receive. So here's a simple practice. At your next meal, put down your phone, turn off distractions, and take the first 3 bites mindfully. Notice the flavors, the textures, the sensations. Because life isn't just about eating, it's about experiencing. And when you slow down, when you truly taste your food, you're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your soul. The art of deep listening. When was the last time someone truly listened to you? Not just hearing your words, but really listening. Without interrupting, without thinking about how to respond, without waiting for their turn to speak. Think about how that felt. There's something deeply healing about being heard. It makes us feel understood, valued, seen. And yet, in today's world, true listening has become rare. Conversations often feel rushed, filled with distractions, or reduced to surface-level exchanges. We listen just enough to reply, but not enough to truly understand. But what if we changed that? What if, instead of just hearing others, we practiced deep listening? Listening with presence, with openness, with compassion? Thich Nhat Hanh calls this compassionate listening. It's the practice of listening not to judge or fix, but simply to understand. Imagine a loved one coming to you burdened with something heavy on their heart. Your instinct might be to give advice, to offer solutions, to try and fix their pain. But deep listening asks for something different. It asks you to pause, to set aside your own thoughts, opinions, and judgments, to create space for the other person to simply be heard. Here's the truth. Most of the time, people don't need advice. They don't need someone to solve their problems. They just need to feel understood. Think about a time when you were struggling, when all you wanted was for someone to sit with you, to hold space for you, to listen without judgment. That's the gift we can offer others. Because listening, truly listening, is one of the deepest acts of love. So, how can we practice deep listening? It starts with presence. The next time someone speaks to you, put your phone down. Make eye contact. Listen with your whole body, not just your ears, but with your heart. Let go of the urge to interrupt. Instead of thinking about what to say next, just be there. And when they finish speaking, before responding, pause. Let their words settle. Reflect on what they've shared. Because when we listen deeply, we don't just hear words. We hear emotions, fears, hopes, and unspoken truths. And in that moment, something beautiful happens. We create space for healing, for connection, for understanding. And in a world that's always talking, always moving, always rushing, sometimes the greatest gift we can give is simply to listen. The joy of letting go. We all carry things, stress, regrets, worries about the future, pain from the past, expectations, our own and those placed upon us by others. Some burdens are small, barely noticeable. Others feel heavy, weighing us down, making every step harder. But what if we didn't have to hold on to everything? What if, instead of clinging to pain, resentment, and fear, we learned to let go? Letting go doesn't mean ignoring our problems. It doesn't mean pretending that pain doesn't exist. It means choosing not to let those things control us. Imagine standing by a river, holding a leaf in your hand. This leaf represents something you've been holding on to, an old grudge, a painful memory, a fear of the unknown. Now, take a breath and gently place the leaf in the water. Watch as the current carries it away, no force, no resist, just surrendering to the natural flow. This is the practice of letting go. But in real life, letting go isn't always easy. We replay old conversations in our heads, wishing we had said something different. We hold on to past mistakes, defining ourselves by them. We cling to expectations, how life should be, how people should act, only to feel disappointed when reality doesn't match. But the truth is, the tighter we hold on, the more we suffer. Buddhist teachings remind us that impermanence is the nature of life. Everything changes. Our thoughts, our emotions, our circumstances, nothing stays the same forever. And when we resist this truth, we create suffering. But when we accept it, we find freedom. So how do we begin the practice of letting go? Start small. The next time something upsets you, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is holding on to this helping me or is it weighing me down? If it's something you can change, take action. But if it's beyond your control, practice releasing it, one breath at a time. Because when we let go, we make space for peace, for joy, for new possibilities. And we realize that true freedom doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from learning to flow with life, just like that leaf on the river. The lesson. Mindfulness is not a destination. It's not something you achieve and then move on from. It's a practice, a way of being, a choice we make, moment by moment. It's in the breath you take before reacting in anger, the pause before making a big decision, the attention you bring to the simple, ordinary moments of your day. Because life isn't happening somewhere else, later. It's happening here, now. And the beauty of mindfulness is that you don't need extra time, special tools, or perfect conditions to start. You already have everything you need: your breath, your body, this moment. So, as you move through the rest of your day, I invite you to try this. Pick one simple act: breathing, walking, eating, listening, and do it mindfully, just for a minute. Notice what happens. Notice how it feels. And if this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments. What's one way you bring mindfulness into your daily life? Let's share, learn, and grow together. Because when we practice mindfulness, not just alone, but as a community, we create a world that isn't just busy, but truly alive. Until next time, breathe, live, be.